and the participants. I am Dr. Pranav Dave, the coordinator of Asia's first and the unique certificate course in forensic journalism launched by National Forensic Sciences University. On behalf of the Honorable Founder Vice Chancellor of this university, Dr. J.M. Vyas, I warmly welcome you all to the webinar Pursuit of Happiness, Science, Morality and Spirituality being organized by National Forensic Sciences University at Gandhinagar. As you must be aware, National Forensic Sciences University is the world's first and only forensic sciences university. In recognition of its past performance and potential, recently, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, has upgraded it as a national university and granted the status of institution of national interest and made it a lead agency for expanding and enhancing the expertise in various branches of forensic science in the country. Today, we are privileged to have two eminent experts. One is a renowned personality from the field of medical science, Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir V. Shah, and another one is our own Vice Chancellor and country's senior most forensic scientist, Dr. J.M. Vyasa. It is an honor to have them here to share their thoughts and experience with us. We will begin with Dr. J.M. Vyasa. Dr. J.M. Vyasa is a national icon in the field of forensic science with an unmatched experience of 5 decades as a forensic scientist. This includes steering the forensic science in Gujarat as a director for nearly 3 decades and now presiding it as a director general. To us at the National Forensic Sciences University, he is a father figure who has nurtured this unique university as its founder vice chancellor since its inception 12 years back. Expertise of Dr. Vyasar has been sought by a number of important governing councils and committees, such as Organizing Committee of the Interpol for 3 consecutive terms from 2008 to 2016, Governing Council of Indian Council of World Affairs, which is headed by Honorable Vice President of India, etc. Being a globally recognized forensic expert, Dr. Vyasar has been felicitated with number of international and national awards, which includes Distinguished International Forensic Scientist Award by the Henry C. Lee Institute of Forensic Science, USA, Lifetime Achievement Award by International Association of Police Academies, Interpa, Turkey, President's Police Medal for Meritorious Services, and the Best Forensic Science Laboratory Director of the country by the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister in 2004, to name a few. Dr. J.M. Vyasar, with his outstanding vision, dynamism, and expertise, continues to raise the bar at the National Forensic Sciences University. May I now request Dr. J.M. Vyasar to share his wisdom in this webinar. Please, sir.
Thank you so much. My respected friend, Honorable Dr. Sudhir Shah and the participants who have joined in this seminar. It's a very interesting seminar, and Dr. Shah has got a high level of expertise in this. He's a very spiritual person, and he will be introduced when his turn comes. But I know him very well for many, many years. A noble doctor, working for a good cause, helping people, going all the way to help poor people. And then, in spite of the heavy schedule, he is also actively involved in spiritual aspects. That's very important. And that is how this today's topic he has selected is pursuit of happiness. And then in the pursuit of happiness, what is the role of science, morality, and spirituality? Now, I'll just briefly touch on this because I also enjoy talking on these issues. Pursuit of happiness. If you go by definition, you chase happiness, seeking happiness, trying to remain happy, craving for happiness. searching for happiness. So these are, you can say, pursuit of happiness. Now, why this is happening and why this topic is selected? What is this happiness and why everybody is going for this? You must be aware that every individual, every human being is seeking happiness. Right from morning till evening, whatever activities we do, and we ask the question to that person, why did you do this? The ultimate answer would come to, I wanted to be happy. So, for example, we start with brushing our teeth. Now, after brushing the teeth, if suppose somebody asks me, why did you do this? My simple reply would be, I wanted to keep my teeth healthy. Why did you want to keep your teeth healthy? Because if my teeth are healthy, I will be healthy. But why do you want to be healthy? Nobody, if I am healthy, I'll be happy. So ultimate reply is, I wanted to be happy and therefore I did this activity. Whatever activity you do, even this profession, I'm enjoying this profession and I'm doing this. Why? Because I want to get happiness. Now, unfortunately, and then one more thing, everybody is seeking happiness, isn't it? And everybody is comfortable with happiness. I have not come across a single person who said that I got bored today because I was happy the whole day. It never happens. I have not seen anyone who will say that I was totally comfortable the whole day because I was sad. I was in grief. Nobody likes except sadness, and everybody is comfortable with happiness. Why? So if you search the reason for this, the ultimate reason is happiness is my nature. So I am always comfortable with my own nature. Happiness is my nature. I have no problem because so long as I am happy, I am enjoying my own nature. So there is no conflict in me. Sadness is not my nature, so that I try to overcome sadness the moment it comes, so that I can enjoy my nature, which is happiness. So this is a struggle which is going on in my life right from my birth. This is a struggle. And everybody is searching for happiness from varieties of objects. I feel that this object will make me happy. Somebody else feel that that object will make me happy. Likewise, depending on the mindset of people, I decide the object of my happiness. For someone, seeing a movie makes the person happy. For someone, playing a cricket makes the person happy. For someone, watching a cricket match makes happy. For someone, rasgulla, taking rasgulla, the person becomes happy. That's also change. The object go on changing of happiness, and I look for happiness from all these objects. But unfortunately, these objects are inert. They don't have capacity to make me happy. I am dependent on them, but unfortunately, that my belief, my notion is wrong that this object makes me happy. I give an example. Say, for example, when I am sad, somebody brings rasgulla, I feel very happy. So rasgulla is an object of my happiness. This is fine. Now, if suppose rasgulla gives me happiness, that happiness has to be unconditional, and that happiness has to be 24/7. In all circumstances, rasgulla should make me happy. Because that is a property of rasgulla, according to me. Rasgulla is an object which gives me happiness. So rasgulla has to give me happiness all the time without any condition. Now, I was sad one day, and as usual, my friend brought rasgulla. And then I felt very happy. The moment I was trying to put rasgulla in my mouth, someone came and told me, your very dear and near relative has expired. Now the same rasgulla, I take it away, take it away. I don't like this. Because my mind is now not free to enjoy the happiness which I think is coming from rasgulla. But if suppose that is the property of rasgulla, it has to give me happiness. Now, this time, rasgulla doesn't make me happy. That means Rasgulla doesn't have capacity to make anyone happy. Likewise, any object you take, there are all conditional happiness they give me. All condition, provided my mind is good, provided my mind is accepting this thing, and I am free person, then only this object can make me happy. I should be free. And one more, same example, if we extend further, Rasgulla makes me happy. I take one Rasgulla, two Rasgulla, 10 Rasgulla, 15 Rasgulla. The moment the 16th Rasgulla comes, I start hating it. No, no more. I don't enjoy now. That means that also proves that Rasgulla does not make me happy. Because 16th Rasgulla should also make me happy. Because there is a nature of Rasgulla. It doesn't make me happy. That means happiness doesn't come from the object. Happiness is my nature. And because it is my nature, and I am surrounded by sadness all the time, I try to overcome sadness by identifying my happiness in the various objects which I come across during my life. And this is how the moment that object is given to me, shown to me, comes to me, I feel happy. And that also is temporary. Because, say for example, I want a Honda car. I don't know. Honda car, something. Now, the moment this Honda car comes, my desire gets satisfied. The moment my desire gets satisfied, I enjoy, because the desire also make my mind agitating. The moment the desire goes, I experience my nature, and that is happiness. So I want Honda car, whatever it is, Hyundai car. I want Hyundai car. I want Hyundai. There's a desire. Now, the moment Hyundai car comes to me, desire gets fulfilled. I enjoy my nature, because now that desireless mind has come. That desireless mind is a real happy mind. There's a natural mind. But then, after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, some of my friends got one more sophisticated car. And now that my happiness goes, I said, no, I want now that car which my friend brought. So this is how the objects of happiness go in changing. My perception of getting happiness from varieties of objects also goes on changing. And ultimate reality, if you see, is none of the objects have got any capacity of making me happy. It is my own nature. If suppose I am all without, because with that one more example is given in our scriptures. You are not in contact with any objects when you are in sound sleep. There is no object around you. And still, when you wake up, you say, I enjoyed the sleep. I was very happy in the sleep. The happiness is experienced when the person is in a sound sleep. In sound sleep, there are no objects. Nothing. So, that also proves that object don't give happiness to me. It is my own nature, which I am experienced, because in sound sleep, my mind is no longer an agitating mind. My mind is no longer a desirous mind. It has no desires, no agitation, no discomfort, nothing. And that natural mind, simple mind, is happiness itself. So I experience that happiness in sound sleep. So this is how it is also a science. There is a morality. If you observe moral principles of morality, that means you are training your mind, guiding your mind, how to be a mind which can remain happy throughout. And through spiritual means, you can also learn how to remain happy, how to seek happiness, and without any object, I can remain happy. That is spirituality. So these three topics, these principles are going to be covered by respected Shri Dr. Sudhir Shah. He is a Padma Shri. And we would like to listen to him as to what is his perception about this happiness. And I'm really thankful, sir, that you spared your valuable time and We are all very keen to listen to your talk on this pursuit of happiness, science, morality, and spirituality. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I am extremely thankful to respected Dr. J.M. Vyas sir for sparing his valuable time and sharing his thoughts. Please accept our heartfelt thanks. Before I invite Dr. Sudhir V. Shah sir, it is my proud privilege to share some of the major achievements of Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir V. Shah. Professor Dr. Sudhir V. Shah is a very reputed neurologist who has pioneered interventional neurology in Gujarat. Besides that, he is a multifaceted personality, a teacher, a writer, a musician, an orator, an erudite scholar, a scientist, a philanthropist, an occultist, and an able administrator. Currently, he is the professor and head of the Department of Neurology at the KM School of PG Medicine and Research at the Vyas General Hospital and the director of neurosciences at the Sterling Hospitals. He has been appointed as an honorary neurologist to the governor of Gujarat. He is an advisor to the World Yoga Foundation. Dr. Shah has authored several research papers and books. It is noteworthy that not only his books were extensively sold, over 60,000 copies, but all the earnings were entirely used for philanthropy. No wonder the European and American media agencies have made numerous documentary films on his extensive work and contributions, and several national and international bodies have honored Dr. Shah for his outstanding contributions in different fields. These include the prestigious and fourth highest civilian award of India, the Padma Shri, the coveted Dr. B.C. Roy Award by the Medical Council of India, and Water has received international acclaim. He has done an extraordinary case study on the monk as its principal investigator in 2003, and Dr. Shah was co-investigator in the year 2010 for the same case, which was reinvestigated with Indian Defence Institute of Physiology and Allied Sciences. This project was widely telecasted on all over the world, including Discovery, BBC, and other media channels. Dr. Sudhir V. Shah sir, has a special interest in studying the scientific aspects of spirituality. Under this reason, Dr. Shah has been widely invited all over the world for his popular talks on happiness, meditation, scientific secrets of religion, etc. As you know, happiness is the ultimate goal of human life, and as such, all of us are seriously striving for happiness in our life, and yet many of us do not reach the desired destination. This is a need of enlighten us as to where we are going wrong and how do we achieve happiness. Today, it is our pride and privilege that Dr. Shah will deliver discourse on pursuit of happiness, science, morality, and spirituality. I now invite Dr. Sudhir Shah sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll just share my screen. Is the screen visible? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, okay, fine. First
Yes,
of
sir.
all, I want to thank Professor J.M. Shah, the Vice Chancellor and Director General of National Forensic Science University, He is, in fact, senior to me, and I respect him a lot for his vision, his spiritual aspects, and his affection and love towards me. It is due to him that I am here sharing my thoughts with all of you. I'm also thankful to the board and the staff of the University of National Forensic Sciences, as well as I welcome all the delegates here on this platform. Well, Professor James Vyas has already given a wonderful preamble, and I think he has summarized what I'm going to tell, and it has made my job very simple. Uh, in the next 1 hour and maybe 15 minutes, I'm going to give one of the best experiences, knowledge, and research that I've gathered in last 10, 15 years. And I'm sure you will all enjoy the journey of happiness.
Happy about, we were actually 18% less depressed than we are now. We have been taught that hard work equals success, which equals happiness, right? Wrong. Research proves happiness is actually a precursor to success, not the other way around. Did you know? Neuroscience proves that we are hardwired to perform at our best when we are happy. Studies show that happy, positive, optimistic people earn higher incomes, set and achieve more aggressive goals, experience less stress, remain calm in high-pressure situations, are more energetic, recover from illness faster, and live longer. Happiness is serious business. When we engage in positive, real-life relationships, our bodies release chemicals that actually help reduce anxiety and increase concentration and focus. How you feel and your attitude toward life all stem from your thoughts, actions, and where you focus your time and energy. Yet we are constantly surrounded by negativity. If we want things to change, we have to create the change. And we start by choosing positivity and happiness. Just imagine the possibilities if there were more happy and positive people in this world. A world with more peace, optimism, and compassion is possible. Like a pebble thrown into a pond, it only takes one to create the ripple of happiness. Happiness is so contagious and infectious that one positive person can spread happiness to more than 1,000 people. That means all it takes to create change on a local, regional, state, country, global scale is one person. And research shows that just by spreading happiness, you actually become happier. You can choose happiness and choose to share it. You can be the catalyst to spread it directly and indirectly. Are you that one? It starts with you, yet it's bigger than you. Happiness is bold. It is courageous, audacious, and challenging. You have the power to choose happiness and to spread it. Join the movement. Share the movement. Be the one who makes the difference. And live happy.
Friends, let us make a pledge to spread happiness. Are you that one? Are you a happy person? Are you going to be happy and make others happy? Happiness is audacious, it's courageous, it is infectious. So, friends, today's presentation will be focused on so many aspects: science, morality, spirituality, philosophy, religion. And the main idea is to give you the insight how we can all achieve happiness. Now, my first question to all of you: do you want to be happy? And raise your hands. You want to be happy? My answer is yes, then be. It's very simple. If you want to be happy, then be. Who is preventing you to become happy? Remember, you are in charge of your happiness and not anybody else. Happiness is not that somebody alters or takes away from you. Nobody else can make you happy or unhappy. Many people are in a habit of telling that because of this person I got became unhappy, or because this happened to me I became unhappy. No, happiness is your own possession, is your in charge. Because as Dr. James has said, It is your nature, your inner core is full of happiness, and make it a habit to understand and convey that no one else can make you unhappy or no circumstance can make you unhappy. Decide every morning that you are in a good mood, and happiness is a choice. Remember, happiness is our conscious decision, it is our conscious choice, and it is free of cost. All priceless cheap things in the world, they are all free. Maybe peace, happiness, love, respect, kindness, everything is free. Third important point, happiness is a journey, it's not a destination. There is no better time to be happy than right now. So be happy from this moment. Many times, as Professor Vyas said, that we are in a kind of mental setup that once I get this Hyundai car, I'll be happy. But the moment you achieve that goal, then your target moves and you want to achieve some higher Audi car. So you don't remain happy because your goals keep on shifting. And that should not be the case. The whole journey of achieving your Honda car or the another car, that should be the journey of happiness. Your whole journey of life is a journey of happiness. It's not a fixed destination. Since I would get 1 crore rupees, or when I get this particular post, then I'll become happy. So then your mind eludes you. It makes you, fumble in the sense till you get that particular goal, you remain unhappy. And then, as I said, the goal keeps on moving. So till the end of life, we don't remain happy, and that's the biggest fallacy. We have to change it. So fasten your seatbelt, friends, and let's start the journey of happiness. Remember, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So do not chase happiness outside. Just enjoy the journey. The purpose of life, who everybody wants to be happy, everybody wants to live, nobody wants to die. No sane person would want to die. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Everybody wants to be happy every now and then, and everybody wants peace. That is because it is the entire nature of our existence. And ultimate purpose of life is what? Is to enjoy and live happily and make others happy. But till the end of life, most of us, we lose the way, including myself. What happens, we did a study in 2004, and I asked about 100 people who were almost on the deathbed, and I asked whether you achieved your goal of happiness in life. Will not be surprised that most 95% of people said, Dr. Shah, though we knew that we wanted to be happy, somehow we lost the way and we could not remember. So that was not a surprise to me, because I anticipated people, though they have clear goal, they are unable to find the way. And why this happens, we will figure out in this presentation, and also will try to sort out why we are wrong and how we can change the directions. Now, Lord Buddha said, this is one of the universal truth, they call it, 4 Arya Satya. Look, that there is a problem. What is the problem? Everybody is unhappy. Everybody is seeking for truth and happiness, but everybody is unhappy. That there is a problem. It's a universal truth. Then he argued, then if there is a problem, there has to be a cause. And if there is a cause, there has to be a way. And if there is a way, if you follow that path, you will get the solution. These are simple, basic truths, but most profound truths of life, which are called 4-way truth, Arya Satya. Look, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So friends, I'll divide my talk in 3 parts. One is defining happiness and psychology and neuroscience of happiness. Then why we are unhappy, determinants of happiness. This I'll cover in first 30-35 minutes, and in the last 30-35 minutes or so, I will cover how to be happy, etc., etc., and the physical, chemical, moral, philosophical, spiritual aspects or keys to become happy. So the third part is the most important, but in order to understand those answers, we have to first go through what actually happiness is and where we are wrong. Friends, Aristotle defined happiness this way: happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and the end of human existence. There is nothing beyond that. Happiness is ultimate. As Dr. Vyas said, everything we do is centered at happiness. Nothing we do with another goal. Everybody wants to do all activities to achieve only happiness and maybe peace. And he said that happiness can be achieved by, good relationship, good health, good virtues, and maybe good spiritual aspects. So that's what he defined that in those days. Now, with the current perspective of science and the development of more philosophical sciences, darshan, and maybe spiritual aspects, we will define it a little more closely and more thoroughly. So happiness, as per the dictionary, is a positive emotion, a persistent state of a feeling of well-being, an attitude, and a state of mind. That is what the dictionary says. But then where is the problem? When I'm talking to you on happiness, why I'm talking to you? It doesn't mean that I am the happiest person in the world. No, I do make mistakes. But over last 15 years, ever since I'm working on this subject, I have realized my mistakes. And I wish all of you also do introspection after this talk and find out where you yourselves are wrong and try to sort out those issues. By talking and discussing this subject more and more, and by reflecting and introspecting, you will be happier person day by day, believe me. And the day will come you will be able to remain peaceful and happy despite all discordance or despite of difficult circumstances and people around you. So, in my research, I first found out that the happiness definition varies from the person to person. All persons fall into one of the three groups: those who are spiritually awake, whom we call sattvic people; those who are asleep, tamasic people; and those who are somewhere in the middle, rajasic people. Now, these were the spiritual aspects of happiness in our ancient scriptures. But for your purpose, even if you do not want to follow those scriptures, these are very simple scientific truths which I'll explain you. So your own personal definition of happiness will depend on which of these groups you belong to. There are three levels of happiness. One is pleasure, which is entirely dwelling on the physical aspects. It's an animal instinct based on five senses like eyes, ear, tongue, touch, and smell. Objects related to these five senses, they create a kind of objective happiness, and that is pleasure. The second level is joy, achievement, success, imparting meaning, spreading knowledge, creating empires, making communes, earning money. These are all aspects of joy, which we call it satisfaction or santosh. Pleasure is mauj maja, joy is santosh, and bliss is the ultimate highest level for a man, and that is your sattvicness, and that is nijanand. So there are three levels. Now you go and check which of the levels you fall into today. I will explain what is pleasure. Pleasure is for those who are largely asleep kind of people, tamasic people. They are on animal instinct. They are at the body level. The happiness is sought from outer world and is characterized by pleasure. It is sensual, instinctual, and physiological. Only five senses, though they dwell into this kind of life. They don't have anything related to achievement, success, or imparting knowledge or meaning. It is instinctual. You eat a rasgulla, enjoy for a few seconds and forget it. After a few minutes or maybe up next day, you will still start thinking of another rasgulla. If you get it, it's good for a few minutes. But if you don't get it, you get an intense desire, craving, and therefore perpetual pain. So that is the worst aspect of any instinctual, sensual kind of happiness. It is physiological, like an action potential. A science subject student would know what is action potential. So it is always perpetual, and there is a demand for more and more. Therefore, there is more and more pain. All people who dwell into this kind of five things like food, sex, places, listening music and fragrance, five senses related objects. Here you need a physical health to enjoy these things, and then you require money to enjoy all these things. So, but as I mentioned, these are very short lived. It cannot give longer happiness, and if you don't get it often and daily and now and then, you get into more and more trouble, more pain. And when we did fMRI study of these people during this kind of activity, the respective area of the brain got more metabolism or blood circulation. This is actually fMRI, so it shows metabolism. The visual area is getting lighted up when he looks at some visual object, which makes him pleased. So these are different kinds of images of activity of pleasure in the brain. And the scientific aspect, the substrate for the happiness or pleasure type, that is type 1, is dopamine and serotonin, and these are the pathways. The blue is the dopamine, and the red circuit is the serotonin. And as you know, dopamine is the substrate of reward molecule. You get something in return for some activity, you get pleased, and every day you want more and more return. And if you don't get that return, that dopamine produces quite of compulsion, perseveration, and like a dog, if you are feeding daily at 9 o'clock and next day he comes and he doesn't get the food, then there'll be barking and a lot of excitement. So similarly, human animal instinct produces more and more shouting, craving if that particular object is not getting. And serotonin is the memory molecule, mood molecule, and both coupled produces the pleasure sense. And the fuel for that is noradrenaline. I would not go into scientific details much, but this will, I'm sure, it will give you some idea of what pleasure constitutes of. The next level is joy. So some of us are slightly more elevated and they always find something better than pleasure because they realize that all this pleasure does not give a longer lasting happiness. Mind you, it doesn't mean that as human beings we should not fall for objects of pleasure. We are all human. We also like to eat, enjoy, but our aim should be to live and go above that. We should not dwell only on this level. So next level is joy. It is quite human, where you begin to feel happy for no particular reason. It comes from the inner world. अंदर से भी आधा आता है, outer और बाहर से भी आधा आता है. This kind of joy, this kind of happiness is 50% self-dependent, 50% from the outside. Pleasure is 100% outside. Here it is within and outside. It's more psychological. That was physiological. There are desires here, but they are refined, like service to mankind, success, creativity, achievement, social interaction, recognition, simple spiritual practices. This is all giving you happiness. But do you think that money and awards will give you permanent happiness? No. If you are awarded and rewarded, you feel happy today, maybe for a few days, or maybe month or more, or maybe year. But after some time, if you don't get more reward, if you don't get more money, if you are not getting a lot of praise, or if tomorrow your success are washed away, if your money is gone, if your uh, achievements are not appreciated, or for some reason you get disrepute, your all happiness goes away. So again, joy, although it lasts longer, but it cannot impart you permanent happiness. So joy is better than pleasure, but you should be also looking for something which is more permanent. Achievement, degrees, successes, music, performing music is a matter of joy. Listening to music is a matter of pleasure. And engagement, sports activity, like our Indian team won, so we all became happy and joyful. So that is our kind of joy level. When we did fMRI during this activity, we found that a different set of areas of the brain got activated, and this is in the posterior parietal and perirolandic circus, and that these increased blood flow and metabolism lasted for quite longer time. The chemicals of joy are oxytocin, vasopressin, and prolactin, apart from dopamine and serotonin. If you look at the mother and child relationship, the child is born through the womb of a mother, and you look at the bonding that they have. Similarly, the bonding of a boss and the staff, the bonding of family senior and the family, other family members, this kind of bonding, this kind of affection, this kind of true love, and on the other side, the ego and the attitude, this all is related to joy. So, do introspection, find out whether we are at the level of pleasure or also we are looking for joy. But to tell you frankly, and we'll see through the rest of the presentation, the most required, most sought for of happiness level is level 3, and that is bliss, Nijanand. It is the highest state. Here, the activities of mind reduce and ultimately cease. Our consciousness becomes identified with universal consciousness. There is the experience of just being. स्व में रहना, निजानंद में रहना, just to enjoy your own existence. And it's a permanent meditative state. You are in tune with the universal consciousness, or so-called supreme power, the God, if you believe, or whatever kind of uh, soul-related activities. These are all Nijanand. It's just totally self-dependent. There is no external input. It's 100% dependent on ourselves. There is no external input. It's a fully awake state, and that is why sattvic, pious person, the real saint, if you say Raman Maharshi, if you say Vivekananda, if you look at Ram Krishna Paramahansa, Anand Mahima, all those great sages, or Lord Mahavir, Buddha, and Krishna, Ram, they were all people remaining in blissful state. And the mindfulness practice is observing the body and mind intentionally and letting experiences unfold from moment to moment and accepting things as they are. This is kind of mindfulness practice. It requires a lot of effort to understand that, and observing thoughts without getting caught up in them. In this state, people who are enjoying mindfulness practice, they are in a meditative state even while they are eating, they are sitting, they are walking, talking, or whatever. So this is, and when we do fMRI, there is a particular pointed area in the brain where PSPL, etc. This particular point you get increased cerebral blood flow, and in fMRI here we see increased metabolism. Friends, the chemicals here not dopamine, serotonin, not oxytocin, vasopressin. Here the chemicals are endorphin, GABA, endocannabinoids. These chemicals in right proportion make you in a very self-sublime state. You can say it's spiritual ecstasy. You are always cozy and in comfort, relaxed, stress-free, and pain-free. And that is how, this is how the endorphins are produced, and this is how GABA is produced. GABA is a chemical of peace. Endorphin is a chemical of bliss without pain. And the another one is endocannabinoids. If you are doing marathon, you will realize that for first few kilometers you run, you will find okay, but then you will have severe intense cramp. And then if you run over that particular segment, then you again enjoy bliss. So that second run that is called is to these endocannabinoids, and that is anandamide is the principal chemical. Anandamide, remember that the word has come from our Anand, and that's how the foreigners have accepted the word Anandamide. And keep in mind that inner peace is always given as a package deal to people who remain in bliss. Inner peace refers to a state of being mentally and spiritually at peace with enough knowledge and understanding to keep oneself strong even in discord or stress. So peace of mind is generally associated with bliss and contentment. So, friends, summarizing, we have seen three levels. Worldly things give you pleasure, the imparting meaning and success, and making spiritual things is joy. But remaining in within yourself, enjoying the true nature of the self is the bliss, being part of something bigger than yourself. And so that is how the preamble of the scientific aspects of happiness as far as the levels are concerned. Now, next question comes, what are the instruments in the study of brain and happiness? Friends, we use a lot of instruments, including clinical psychometry. We do rating scale. You can do self rating today on scale of 1 to 10, how much happy you are, tomorrow, how you are, every day, morning, evening, also you can do and find out what is your level of happiness, whether it remains steady on the higher side. Maybe 10 is the highest, 1 is the lowest, so like that. Also, we can do with happiness index, GDP, human development index. There are a lot of other scales available for the economic and the general status of the individuals of nation. I'm sure those things you know. As far as we are concerned as neurologists for individual happiness, we use magnetoencephalogram, MRI, the fMRI, positron emission tomography, SPECT, this single photon emission computerized tomography, etc. So this is for your background. All these studies that I'm going to talk and whatever I talk is all based on science. It's not something that I have my perception, but it is backed by the scientific studies, which is done by my colleagues or me or together, etc. Friends, now we are going to the level two. Why we are unhappy and what determines our unhappiness. Friends, life is larger than medicine, profession, or business. You should understand that, like, I am a doctor, a neurologist, so I'm more than a neurologist. Only 30 or 40% of my existence is of neurology. I am a father, I am a child, I am somebody's husband, I'm somebody's friend, I'm somebody's teacher, I'm related to so many people. So my existence consists of several aspects. So many times we make a mistake that I am a neurologist, so there's a whole day and night I am in a neurologist kind of code, and even in sleep I sleep as a neurologist. No, that should not be. We should be immediately able to change our role. The moment I come home, I am a father, I'm a spouse, I'm a son, whatever. And when I go out and meet my friends, I'm a friend. So this is what is very important. We should learn to immediately change the role. If you are not doing and remaining the same, then you will not become happy. There is another important principle. Why we are not unhappy? If I talk of our doctors or maybe a person with a profession, we have academic stress, professional career. I am a teacher, I am a professor, I am giving a lot of talks, doing research, I'm writing books and giving lectures, and so a lot of academic, professional career related stress, corporate stress, we have lots of conferences, research activities, and then at the top of it, everybody as a human being have to look after my spouse, in-laws, parents, children. Then we have all the psychological issues of somebody has misunderstanding, how to resolve that. Then we have social problems to solve, children issues, they're teaching, they're bringing up. We are worried about interpersonal relationship, we care for that. Then there's a competition, then every human being is restored with negative emotions like ego, jealousy, and attitude and all that. And then at the top of, everybody wants to become famous, wants money, so that brings a lot of stress. Then we have to manage everything in time. Like, I have to finish my talk in next 45 to 40 50 minutes. I'm a little stressed out whether we'll be able to do. So these are all called simple but propounding issues. Traffic, mobile, now social media has created a lot of impact on us. We have to manage our staff, deal with misunderstandings. As doctors, we are now very much in the focus. So we have to be clear about legal issues, paperwork, demanding patients. They draw a lot of our attention. Then we have caregiver stress. At the top of it, government and national and international issues, including IST, GST, demonetization. Then came, like right now, there are border issues, there are pandemic issues, and then there are farmers issues. All perpetually erode your mind. And then all of us, we want to remain physically and mentally healthy, fit, beauty, and happy. So these are the reasons why we are riding on several horses, so we are not remaining happy. But friends, try to remember, this is a very important slide. One of the most important messages of today's talk is this: each one of us is traveling in the path of life, and everybody meets at a place where there is a crossroad or there are two roads. One road takes us to more success, more money, more fame, more pleasures, more joys, and awards, achievements, possessions, and kind of making communes, etc. But the other road, which is less traveled, takes us to bliss and peace. And which is that road? The road passing through religion, morality, philosophy, spirituality, and godliness. People like us who are in still working, we have to balance, at some point, we have to cut down our commitments and should not chase happiness on a left-sided road. Rather than that, we should seat ourselves every, and I will give you the final equation how we can do that at the end. So this is most important. And it is not at the 60 age or 65 or 50. Our crossroad is even at 40, even at 30, even at 45, whatever, even 65. So we have to decide when we have to choose. So one has to choose between success and inner happiness. Success is what? Taking from the system of society, system of politics, system of people. You take more possessions, more money, more awards, more fame. That is success. How smartly you are able to take. While happiness is giving. So the giving consciousness brings you to inner happiness and bliss. While taking consciousness smartly is, in a simpler word, is success. So choose for yourself what you want. And then there is a life impact of living in virtual world. My God, this social media have really corrupted our life. That has filled us with inner emptiness, isolation, emotional burnt out, and restlessness, and all that. Now we come to the determinants of happiness. What determines our happiness? This is very important. 20% of our happiness is our inbuilt genes, which we have inherited from our parents and forefathers. 10%, 10% जो हैप्पीनेस है वो सर्कमस्टेंसेस विच आर ट्रांजिएंट लाइफ के पाथ में छोटे छोटे प्रसंग छोटे बड़े होते रहते हैं बट दे आर ट्रांजिएंट बिकॉज टाइम इज द हीलर and in the whole imprint of life, if you see those circumstances would not make impact larger than 10%. 20% is from your money and health that you have achieved, but 50% of our happiness, according to neuroscience, depends on attitude, your behavior, your morality, and spirituality. 50% is here. Health is 10%, and rest genetics is something which we'll see how to do that. Some cause happiness wherever they go, and others whenever they go. Oscar Wilde wrote a beautiful, was one of the wonderful all-time great physician. And he said, some people are so kind of boon people, then we don't like to meet them. And some people we always like to meet and welcome. Some are born happy people and some are born difficult. Why so? Because they have genetic impact. These are the genes VMAT2, PI, TLPR, MAO-A, FA. These are all discovered in recent 15, 20 years. And apart from that, there are genes which control our chemicals release, like DRD2 controls our dopamine, DRD4, serotonin, HEI, endorphin, and C57BL for melatonin, etc. So happiness is dependent on genes to some extent. But mind you, from 2014 onwards, the principle of epigenetics has come in a big way. What is epigenetics? Friends, listen to this carefully. Though genes are important, it's not all that genes decide. Intrinsic happiness occurs naturally. Humans have genes that can be activated by our own thoughts, emotional patterns, and behaviors. Our own genes may be bad or we may not have those great genes, but still with the help of our mindfulness, meditation, altruistic action, morality, we can unlock the DNA code and we produce natural happiness. And this is the schematic diagram. With the altruistic actions and mindfulness meditation, we can unlock the DNA code. And with the behavioral situations and our good thoughts, emotion, positive, we can change our genetic code and make happy life. So this is very important. Although we may or may not be restored with the positive genes from our parents, we can ourselves express the genes with the help of this way. So that was genetics. Circumstances. Now, more the circumstances we create, more the commitments, meeting this fellow, that fellow, committing to talk here, there, going from place to place. These commitments really take away our happiness. So we should reduce our commitments. We should also reduce interactions with persons. We should also reduce the interaction with different virtual media, WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram, and I don't know how many of them are there. Twitter. Fortunately, I'm hardly on one or two social media. Rest I have cut down. So the more you have contacts with persons and people and situations, the more will be your unhappiness. This is a basic fundamental truth propounded by Lord Mahavir. So reduce your contacts and commitments. Then regarding money, there was a study which showed that affluent countries like North America, Greenland, and New Zealand, etc., were the happier people. And then there were countries like some part of Africa, Russia, and some neighboring countries. They were the most unhappy persons as regarding the rate chart is concerned. So different colors denote happiness level. Happiest green is the happiest, red is the least happy, and our India was somewhere in the between. Now, this was purely based on the income. But then we realized that money cannot produce long term happiness. Money produces short term benefits. More money will not raise more well being. This graph is very, very interesting. The upper graph shows the per capita real income, and this is the happiness level. As you can see, with increasing real income per head, there is really no proportionate increase in happiness. In fact, after some level, happiness starts falling. So more money does not bring more happiness. Money can bring security as well as comfort and pleasure. It can bring improved standards of living, education. I don't say that money is not required. They are required, but to some level. As I mentioned that, remember that figure, at some level you are on a crossroads. More money, how much it would help? More money corrupts, success corrupts. They may take away our morality. If you are more rich, people would be afraid to come to you. Your friends will keep distance from you. Relationship, health, it will corrupt your health. All the time you are worried how to, balance the money and where to keep and how to save and how to protect. So it will take away your health, bliss, peace, happiness. They are impermanent. Money is impermanent. Today your share market has crossed 50,000, they said, and Sensex, and tomorrow it will crash to 30,000. So who knows? So these are all transient things. We need to balance. What do we remember? Friends, we remember only those people who have helped us. Now, if I ask you who were the people who were awarded the highest accolades last year, or who were the Nobel laureates, or who were the 10 richest people in the world, you will hardly remember 3, 4. How does it matter, even if you name them? They are not important to you. Who is important to you? Those people who loved you, took care of you, who have affection. आपको जो प्यार करते हैं, आपकी रक्षा करते हैं, आपके लिए जिसको सम्मान है, this is what is important for you. So you also be the kind of person जो इसके लिए लोग कहे कि भाई ये आदमी ने मेरा इतना भला किया, उसने मुझे सम्मान दिया, उसने मुझे प्यार दिया, मेरी बुरी कंडीशन में उसने मुझे इतनी मदद की. So remember the ones you take care of you and appreciate you, and you be one. So remember this slide once again. Road to bliss and peace is more important. So the drive for more success, more money, more achievements and awards is a sympathetic drive. You are always on rush and run, flight or fight. While the yogic mode is parasympathetic, slow, peaceful, blissful. And we have to learn in one sentence, if I have to summarize, if you want to become happy, go from sympathetic to parasympathetic, from success to yogic mode. So that brings to the third and the most important level. All this background, as I said, was necessary for us to understand the background of happiness and why we are unhappy and what are the determinants of happiness and how we measure happiness, etc. Now we'll see how to be happy. This is the most important 35 minutes, and I am sure you will all cooperate by listening silently. How to be happy: physical, chemical, and moralities, and then philosophical and spiritual perspective. So, friends, I agree that all of us have to remain happy. As Professor Vyas said, that health is very important. Started with brushing teeth and that kind of similar example. That's true. Eat right, do exercise, do yoga, do breathing technique, pranayam, get enough sleep. Good excretory functions like your stomach, bowel should be open, etc., etc. Learn to relax, no vices. Okay. My grandfather used to tell me, live elegantly, love abundantly, and laugh exhaustingly. What a wonderful statement. Live elegantly, love abundantly, and laugh exhaustingly. So these are the principles for the physical good health. And I'm sure today my talk is not based on what to eat and what not, but I'm sure you know the importance of fruits, nuts, vegetables, pulses, and liquid. What is the importance of vegetarian diet? What is the importance of sattvic food? Why we should eat before sunset? Why we should do intermittent fasting? That is 14 hours minimum fasting. So, like if you eat today at 7 p.m., tomorrow your stomach should be opened at 11 a.m. So, these are all the most current prevailing principles of health and diet. And what are the substances which can give you dopamine? Like if you want to get dopamine or pleasure, you can eat an apple, beet, cucumber, green leafy vegetables, honey, cheese, sweet peppers, or whatever, and you will get the dopamine like kick. If you want serotonin kick, you eat banana or you use cheese sandwich, fruits, vegetables, or do light stretching exercise or soothing music. You get serotonin feel. Endorphin, you can eat complex pasta, bread, etc., or eat spicy food, chili. Some people are fond of chilies, so that brings endorphin. Routine aerobic activity, brisk walking, biking, swimming, massage, that brings you endorphin or kick. Enough sleep, walking, no excitatory things, as far as possible. Do not weep your horse of body with coffee or stimulants, or take it in minimal quantity. Do regular exercise, including resistance training, weightlifting, and went with a friend. Do yoga, very important, most body friendly activities yoga because it acts on autonomic nervous system, endocrine nervous system also, and produces profound bliss. Massage, by massage, I mean our local simple massage, not the kind of Thai massage which people misunderstand. Laugh frequently. Laugh the small things. Even if this simple joke, you should laugh. Laugh from the core of your heart. Laugh frequently at yourself and not others. Laugh from the core of your spirit, not in artificial ways. Learn to laugh out in all mistakes and bad situations. Laugh at your own self, your own mistake, not at others' mistakes. So look after, uh, don't make joke of others' mistakes. Laugh at your own mistakes. Similarly, smile is the way to tell someone is happy, but there should be real smile. Smile solves a lot of problems. Remember this. Smile solves many problems. So these simple tips, smile, laugh, yoga, वगैरह, and silence. With all due regards to this gentleman, I respect him a lot for his profound knowledge. But he has also mastered silence. Silence avoids so many problems. So whenever you don't know or when you are not heard, you should learn to remain silent. That will also avoid so many problems. Smile solves many problems. Silence avoids so many problems. And love people. Don't criticize. Friends, life is too small, too short. We don't have enough time to love. We don't have enough time to express our gratitude and affection. So if you spend your life in judging people, criticizing people, bad mouthing people, then when will you love them? Life is too short. So always love and appreciate. Everyone has some or other virtues. So love people. And when you do love, affection to a person, show it, then there is a reward in the brain. In the midbrain, the rostral midbrain area, there is a particular center which gets activated during this reward as a reward to love or affection or appreciation. And that in turn involves the parasympathetic output, and which increases your blaze space by reducing pulse, blood pressure. It brings you to the parasympathetic mode. So even by appreciating and loving people, you can achieve a lot of things. So don't criticize, please, anybody, whatever it may be. Then there is a medical management. If happiness is a biological cause in the brain, then we will be able to influence with drugs, surgery, bionics, etc. So as a neurologist, many people come to me who have also anxiety or depression or psychosis or the personality disorders, etc. I send them to my colleague psychiatrists because remember, anxiety, depression, psychosis, etc. are the very common, important causes of unhappiness in human beings. They are inbuilt from our previous brains. In the triune brain model, we have been shown that we have inherited brain from the reptiles, which contains anxiety inbuilt in our brain, posterior brain. Then we evolved into neo-mammalians, that is ox, bullock, etc., cow. So we have depression brain, which is inbuilt in our new brain, and then we have a large cortex here, which is a characteristic of human being, the frontal part in front. That is massive, and with that we have a capacity to think, communicate. We have memory, intelligence, judgment, executive skill, prioritization, and a lot of constructional thing. That brain is, which is why we are superior to all other animals. And this is at fault. Our behavior and thoughts, etc., they become faulty. And there also you require psychiatry, counseling, and some drugs, antipsychotic. When you are happy, and if you remove all these anxiety, depression, psychosis, or from other angles you learn to become happy, medical science says that your 80% of the disease are psychosomatic because of your unhappiness. 80% of our disease are psychosomatic. And that's not what I'm saying. The arthritis, allergy, asthma, hypertension, coronary disease, bowel problems, acidity, constipation, migraine, tension headache, menopause, back pain, depression, substance abuse like alcohol dependence or smoking, skin allergy, overweight, sleep problems. These are all due to our unhappiness. And if we fix our unhappiness and bring happiness, then we can have very much control over the psychosomatic disorders. So in medicine, the future of happiness is that we are now working on some of the areas of the brain called periaqueductal gray matter of the brain. If we stimulate that area, we get intense relief from pain and get bliss. So that is tomorrow maybe we will be able to do some kind of functional neurosurgery when people we are unhappy. There are certain chemical sprays available for transient release of stress like oxycam, etc. And then there are certain businessmen who sell happiness with the God helmet, etc. Now these are all nonsense, bullshit. Don't go for that. This is all gimmicks of business. But these kind of substances which you can spray tomorrow, it appears to me that all our emotions and thoughts and desires would be at our own tip of the nose and tip of finger. The moment we spray, as for example, somebody is angry, and if you manage to spray that particular X chemical, that is anti-dopaminergic chemical, then maybe within seconds his anger will go away, or maybe his jealousy will go away. So you will not be surprised after 10 years if you listen that you can change your emotions and thoughts with the help of some spray, etc. This looks a joke today, but the way things are going, it may so happen. Similarly, we'll be able to change your genes. You come to my clinic after 10 years, maybe I'll take your blood sample and I'll see if you are deficient in some of the genes. सारे जो जीन्स मैंने बताया ना उसमें से कोई जीन आपका डेफिशिएंट होगा तो विद द हेल्प ऑफ रोबोट एंड नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी I'll be able to do genetic engineering in yourself, and within maybe an hour or a day, you will walk out from my hospital or clinic as a happier person because I altered your gene, the genes which I mentioned. So the science is going, and people like Elon Musk are after all this for your information. So this was about the physical key. Then most important aspect is the social relationship. Uh, Friends, remember that there are five important relations which are most vital in our life. If we can't manage those relationships, I said 50% of your happiness comes from attitude, relationship, morality, and spirituality. The relationships are very important. If you are unable to manage them well, your life is screwed up. Remember me. Married lives, children, in laws, friends, and professional or people at workplace. Now, happy married life, according to some, is an oxymoron. Two things don't get together. But there are lucky people like me. If you have got a wonderful wife who understands you, supports you, and takes care of you, you are done halfway. And this is a funny definition of marriage that I have come across. Marriage is nicely defined. It's a way through which two people join together to solve the problems they never had before. शादी के पहले कोई प्रॉब्लम था ही नहीं. जब दोनों इकट्ठे हुए शादी किया तो lots of problems came up, and then the whole life they are solving the problem. That is the system of marriage. So I asked Google, what do women want? And as you know, the women still Google is searching the answer, but I could get the answer from my own wife after 10 years of my struggle. She said, we as women want to be understood, we need to be loved, cared, validated, accepted, and we want freedom. If you give these five things to us, we will spread the whole heaven for you. And I started doing that, and believe me, I'm the happiest person. Same way, when she asked me, Sudhir, what do you want? I said this sentence. So men are very simple people. They just don't want anything. They want freedom only. Anyway, that was a joke. Happiness for children by, you just give them your quality time, give them education, knowledge, culture, wisdom, and art. By giving them, a lot of money and items and objects, you can't make them happy. If you really want to make life for them, give these things which are very vital. And you have to handle, in-laws, and also respect your parents equally, and do a lot of care for them, elderly people, love them and respect them. Happiness takes you to live long, and friends are the gifts of heaven. A person does not need a large number of friends or so many virtual friends. I have 10,000 friends on Phalana. That doesn't mean anything. Two or one real friend makes your life. So I will tell you, I'm very happy again on relationships, particularly my family, my friends, and workplace. I'm absolutely blessed. So that was the social thing. Then there are five pleasant activities that we should do to inculcate more happiness in our day-to-day life. We should all learn some kind of creative activity. May it be music, dance, singing, learning instrument, doing art, or doing some traveling, reading books, gardening, keeping a pet, grooming, photography. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time in explaining them, but you know how much important it is, when it comes to reading. A library is a hospital for the mind. Reading is proven to reduce stress and increases relaxation. People who read often become more empathetic, and we need to know that we are not alone. Same way, music, meditation, reading that have changed my life for good. Music is the medicine of the mind. Music is a string that vivifies your souls. Music produces lots of benefit. I'm sure you can go through net and find out how much useful it is. Similarly, traveling, whenever this corona buzz is off, you start traveling, at least go to nature every day, go to look at sunset and sunrise whenever it's possible for you. Some kind of painting, grooming, photography. So these are the activities that would make your day very useful. At least 3 days a week, 1 hour, if you do some kind of creative activity, you will be very much in a joyful state. Those who are in leadership, those who are professor heads and chancellors, and those who are in the heads of the communes, etc., organization, they have to develop wisdom, knowledge, courage, firmness. They have to impart love, warmth. They have to do justice, temperance, and transcendence. These are the leadership qualities, and that is important. Same way, time management I have found is a very, very important thing in creating happiness for yourself. Respect time, and time will respect you. When I was studying at London with Professor Marsden, he gave me these three golden lines. Sudhir, respect time, and time will respect you. Do only those things that you only can do or you enjoy doing. If I don't enjoy driving, then I should pay off to a driver and I should sit down and should scribble down my thoughts. I should write down my scripts and I should invest that time in creativity. But if I enjoy driving, I should drive. Do only those things which you only can do or you enjoy doing. And most important, decide on whom to meet, why to meet, where to meet, and how long to meet. When you are mixing a meeting, usually you should go to the place so that you can leave the place whenever you want. Otherwise, you call people at home, you will be at the mercy of people who would leave your place. More than that, decide what exactly is to be discussed, write down the points, and have a very planned discussion. As far as the friends are concerned, this is not required. It's an endless ocean, you just enjoy. Then we come to the next level, and that is the morality virtues. Friends, the last 15 20 minutes are the most vital minutes for all of us. Virtues are most important. Gratitude, practicing appreciation, practicing forgiveness, kindness, and acceptance. These are the most important qualities that will make us more happy towards the inner side. Gratitude, I can't tell you more. Gratitude, feeling of gratitude releases positive endorphin throughout the body, creating health and mental peace. It is the sweetest shortcut to finding peace of mind and happiness inside. What is gratitude? Thank people. Thank people for their smallest favors. I thank here all the organizers, including J.M. Vyas, Pranav Bhai, and all those who have invited me to interact with you. I want to thank my driver who has opened my door of the car. I want to help and thank the peon who has brought a cup of tea for me. Everybody who thank from the deepest corner of your heart. And also appreciate people's virtue. Everybody is bestowed with some virtue. As I mentioned, appreciation and love induces release of endorphins and parasympathetic activities. So appreciate. Be verbal in acknowledging your appreciation. Don't take things for granted. Tell them how nice you are, what a smile you have, what beautiful handwritings you have, how truthfully you speak, what a beautiful honesty kind of virtue you have, etc., etc. Forgiveness. Forgive people. They unnecessarily occupy space in your brain, and then you are at the space of revenge. Don't do that. Forgive people. एक शेर है, गालिब हमने जिंदगी को यूं ही आसान कर दिया. गालिब गालिब हमने जिंदगी को यूं ही आसान कर दिया, बहुतों को माफ कर दिया, बाकी से जाके माफी मांग ली. So clear the account. Okay, forgive people. The first to apologize is bravest. Ask for forgiveness. First to forgive is the strongest, and the first to forget is the happiest. Help other, compassion. Helping person with a loaf of bread or helping to cross the road से लेके क्या क्या आप नहीं कर सकते. कोरोना में कितने लोगों को कितनी तकलीफ हुई, आज भी कितने लोग मेंटली फिजिकली डिस्कॉर्ड में है। आप सबको जाके थोड़ी छोटी बड़ी जो मदद हो सके करो। कंपैशन इज द ओनली वे विच विल मेक यू happy to your inner core which is full of happiness, and accept the things which you can't change. ये काल ऐसा खराब आया है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, accept those things and change those things which you can. So God grant me the courage to change the things which I can, and the serenity to accept the things I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. मुझे समझना चाहिए कि मैं क्या change कर सकता हूँ और क्या नहीं कर सकता हूँ. So that brings us to the last two levels, religious and spiritual. Friends, what is most important? Happiness is not something that happens that money or power can command. साहब कह रहे थे जय व्यास साहब, बाहर से नहीं मिलता और वो चेज नहीं करना पड़ता है. It is only by controlling our inner experiences that we become happy. Happiness cannot be reached by consciously searching for it or chasing for it. See, the most profound 8 rules I am giving you. First, in the classical material world, one has to gain something to get pleasure. मुझे कुछ खरीदना है तो पैसा दे के खरीदना है, कार खरीदनी है, परफ्यूम खरीदना है, कपड़े खरीदने हैं, कोई मोबाइल खरीदना है, तो आई हैव टू गिव समथिंग इन एक्सचेंज. इन द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में तो कुछ देना पड़ता है, जो आपको लेना है वही देना पड़ता है. यू डोंट गेट एक्सचेंज. हाँ, मैं पैसा या गोल्ड दे के कुछ खरीदता हूँ, यहाँ तो मुझे खुशी चाहिए तो मुझे खुशी ही देनी है, मुझे शांति चाहिए तो शांति ही देनी है. If I need respect, I have to give respect only. In return, if I give respect, I am only going to get respect. The material way is to search for happiness outside. दुनिया में बाहर ढूंढते हैं मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में. स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में हैप्पीनेस अंदर जो पड़ी है उसको छुपा की जो है उसको ढूंढ के बाहर लाना है. कस्तूरी मृग की स्टोरी आपने सुनी होगी कि सारी जिंदगी वो स्मेल की खोज में घूमता रहता है और सर पटक के मर जाता है. हालांकि कस्तूरी तो उसके स्टमक के अंदर ही पड़ी है, नाभि के अंदर होती है. वैसे सुख हमारे भीतर है, पर हम सारी दुनिया में घूमते हैं, चीजों में, ऑब्जेक्ट्स में, सब्जेक्ट्स में, पब्लिक में, प्लेसेस में, गुरु में, मंदिर में. हकीकत में भाई साहब सुख तो अंदर ही है, बाहर ढूंढने से कुछ नहीं मिलता. इसलिए as I mentioned in my study, 95% of people, they did not know where to get happiness, and therefore they were struggling outside. Had they been rightly guided at the right time, as I was guided by my spiritual gurus, and so you are also lucky that you are getting exposed to so many important scriptures if you want to read, and then learn at the feet of the right guru, not those kind of duplicate gurus, but and then seek your happiness from within. And the spiritual path defines the cause of miseries. हम लोग को ये तीसरा रूल समझना चाहिए कि दुख का कारण क्या है. सुख तो अंदर पड़ा ही पड़ा है, बट on the core happiness of our soul or consciousness, whatever word you want to use, there is a layer of mind which is full of thoughts, desires, ego, attitude, attachment, hatred. All these things produces a layer of unhappiness, and therefore you are unable to see your happiness core. So we have to work on that. Spirituality is nothing but unveiling your happiness. We exist in 3 forms: mind, body, and consciousness. We do everything for our body, as Dr. Vyas said. Everything we do body centric from morning to night. But we are not trained to look at our mind. We don't. Do we do brushing of our mind? Do we adore them? Do we bath our mind? Forget the consciousness or soul. We don't do anything for our mind, and the existence inside is mind and soul. At some stage, we realize that the peace and happiness are not outside. The cause of our unhappiness is we have to find out. That is our aspiration, thoughts, emotions, perversions, our attachment, our hatred, our mind shifting between past and future. Mind doesn't remain steady here in this moment. This moment is full of peace and happiness, but we always drift towards past, which is depression, guilt, wrong things. Future, there is anxiety. What will happen to me? That is the cause of unhappiness. our own ego, हाँ मैं और मेरा, ये ही हमारे दुखों का कारण है, attitude, and that avidya and moh. So friends, happiness is not outside, happiness is inside, but is covered by the activities of mind, and that is where we have to work. And that's why we need five mental processes and five spiritual practices. Attachments, thoughts, desires, emotions, attitude. We have to work on our wrong things, attitude, attachment. As a water bead on a lotus leaf, as water on red lily does not add here, so the sage does not add to the scene. हमें कमल के फूल की पत्ती की तरह किसी से लिपाना नहीं है. You only lose what you cling to. So learn to remain detached. Although we do discharge all our duties as far as possible, even for young people, don't get too much involved or attached. Do your duties with, as गीता में बताया ना, कर्म योग ऐसे जहां तक हो सके करना चाहिए. Thoughts, equally important. What we are what we think. All that we are arise with our thoughts. हमारा जो पूरा शरीर और जो हमारा अस्तित्व खड़ा हुआ है वो हमारे विचार में से हुआ है. एक एक विचार सारे यूनिवर्स में जाके वापिस आता है. मैं एक सोच करता हूँ विचार जैसे कि पॉजिटिव, तो सारे शरीर के 50 ट्रिलियन कोश के अंदर जाके वो प्रवाहित हो जाता है. और अगर मैंने किसी की ईर्ष्या की, क्रोध किया, दम किया, तो वो भी सारे शरीर के 50 ट्रिलियन सेल्स को रॉन्ग सिग्नल देता है. और हर एक कोश में 1.4 माइक्रोवोल्ट करंट है, तो 70 मिलियन माइक्रोवोल्ट करंट पूरा एनर्जी का बॉडी है डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, और वो सारे यूनिवर्स में थॉट जाता है और वापस आता है. Or so don't create any bad thought. If it all it arises, stop it then and there. More than harming anybody, it will harm our own selves. Your worst enemy cannot harm us as much as our thoughts. And we have studied every thought in the SPEC machine, and you will be surprised to know that thoughts are not abstract. Previously, we used to believe that the thoughts में क्या है, वो तो आके चला है. नहीं, every thought is represented in your brain, and you can actually map it. So, and that it has effect on your sympathetic, parasympathetic system, every cell and every physiological aspect, cardiology system, immunity, liver, kidney, heart, lung, everything. Desires, there is no fire like desires, there is no weakness like anger. So friends, desire भी रखो पर कम रखो. मैं रातों रात एकदम बड़ा होना चाहता हूँ, इतने अवार्ड लेना चाहता हूँ, फलाना करना चाहता हूँ, वो सब अपनी कैपेसिटी में रह के धीरे धीरे जो हो सकता है वो करो. बहुत ज्यादा सिंपैथेटिक दौड़ भाग मत करो. दैट इज द बॉटम लाइन ऑफ साइंस ऑल्सो, फिलोसॉफी ऑल्सो. ये एक बहुत बढ़िया स्टेटमेंट है कि एम्बिशन जब बहुत जहाँ खत्म होती है वहां से हैप्पीनेस के दायरे शुरू होते हैं. Where ambitions end, happiness begins. Amount of balance in the bank at the time of our death is the extra work that we have done which we should not have done. अगर हमारे मृत्यु के समय 50 करोड़ या 10 करोड़ बैंक में बैलेंस पड़ा है तो क्या मतलब है उसका. दैट मीन्स दिस गद्दा मजूरी वैतरू जो आपने मेहनत लेबर किया वो बकवास था. किसी और के लिए आपने पैसा जमा किया, उसके बदले सनसेट देखते, सनराइज देखते, लोगों को प्यार करते, पैसा किसी को डोनेट करते. ઈચ્છાઓ રહી જાય અને શ્વાસ ખૂટી જાય તેને મૃત્યુ કહેવાય. ઈચ્છાઓ પૂરી થઈ જાય અને શ્વાસ રહી જાય એને મોક્ષ કહેવાય. So, friends, we have to win anger by forgiveness, conquer ego by politeness, defeat deceit by transparent behavior, and overcome greed with gracefulness and charity. क्रोध को क्षमा से जीतो, अभिमान को नम्रता से जीतो, माया को सरलता से जीतो, और लोभ को दान और दया से जीतो. That is what Lord Mahavir said. Attitude is also a small thing looking, but it's a big thing. So far we have come to a simple formula: stop comparing, stop expecting, stop criticizing, start sharing, start helping, start loving, start appreciating, give, forgive, count blessing, don't get attached, and enjoy every moment and every day and have compassion. So the last 5-6 minutes are on the final part, and that is the spirituality. The religion opens the doors of happiness, and you know that classically Indian spiritual texts and some of the foreign texts also mention the five important aspects of yama, or our important vrat we can call, or the the disciplines that we have to follow. Ahimsa, Satya, Aste, matlab non-stealing. Don't take anybody's anything without his permission. Celibacy, brahmacharya for monks, and totally, we could say, uh, absolutely faithfulness to the spouse, and aparigraha, non-collectiveness. Don't collect so many things, items, money, etc., which are beyond your needs. So remember that crossroad. So religion opens the door of unending happiness and bestows everlasting honor upon the human kingdom. It has been the basis of all civilization, progress of the human history of mankind. Take any religion, these five things will be there, and so is ethics. Ethics is fundamental. And there comes the five philosophical rules that we have to understand. You receive what you give, multiplied. So you are supposed to your karma. आप जो भी देंगे वही वापस आएगा. सुख दोगे तो सुख ही वापस आएगा. दुख दोगे तो दुख ही झेलना पड़ेगा. But in multiple proportion. If I give 100 units of happiness, I will get 1,000 units of happiness maybe. And similarly for the unhappiness. Second is law of attraction. You attract what you think. All you wish it really takes place. मैं अगर रोज चीज सोचता हूँ कि मैं सुखी हूँ, शांत हूँ, सबको प्यार करूँ, सबको हेल्प करूँ, सब पे दया करूँ, तो वो ही आपके जीवन में बनेगा. I want to tell you this secret. The law of attraction, I came to know at the age of 15 and decided I want to become a neurologist. I want to do research. I want to write books and I want to help people. Fortunately, that same thought reverberating, I imprinted in my mind and actually things started happening to me. And so is with you. This is an unfailing rule of philosophy, law of attraction. Third is the law of impermanence. This time will also go away. Nothing is permanent as far as the time is concerned. Bad times also go away. It comes in our life, but they'll go away. Good times also go away. So be very judgmental. None gets nothing more than destiny or before time. So दूसरों की कंपैरिजन करके ये चीज चाहिए वो चीज चाहिए करने में हम सारा समय गंवा देते हैं पर हमारे नसीब से ज्यादा कुछ नहीं मिल सकता. And if you try to get it, you have to pay heavy price. And everything is connected to everything. That is the law of connectivity. Anyway, so don't worry about what others think or say or do and improve your own moment. Enjoy your own personal moments. Look for your personal moments. रूम बंद करके मीडिया टीवी और सोशल मीडिया सब बंद करके आधा घंटा अपने साथ बात करो. डेली ऐसा करो. देन लर्न मेडिटेशन. So friends, spirituality is what? It is a commitment to the self. And there are five spiritual practices which should help everybody. It is any time of the life is fine, ready for the spirituality. It doesn't mean that you have to wait till you are 60 or 70, then you will do. No. From day now, this today, you can do spiritual reading. आधा घंटा रोज कोई अच्छी किताब भगवत गीता से शुरू करो, पातंजलि योग दर्शन पढ़ो, तत्वाद सूत्र पढ़ो, दर्शन चिंतन पढ़ो, अपनी दर्शन शास्त्र पढ़ो, जो भी आपको ठीक लगे रोज अच्छा अच्छा पढ़ो. डू सत्संग, चैंटिंग, डिवोशन, भक्ति करो. मंदिर में अगर मानते हो तो जाओ, नहीं मानते तो अपने साथ बैठो. And do your whatever yoga you can do, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. When you are doing some duty, it's your karma yoga. Jnana yoga is your reading, and bhakti yoga is your devotion towards God, devotion towards your parents, devotion towards your patients, devotion towards your fellow men. And do some kind of self restraint activity. जैसे आज मुझे शाम को नहीं खाना है. Simple restraint activities. Okay, I want to remain silent for 1 hour. That's a penance. This is tough. And meditation. These are all well studied in neurological sciences. I'm not telling anything from my own side. Prayer was studied at length in Pittsburgh University, and we found that during prayer scan, this is a SPECT, single photon emission computerized tomograph, which denotes the blood supply. It is the limbic area, okay, and from baseline to during deep prayer, there is increased blood flow in the limbic area, which is the emotional brain, and there you get increased parasympathetic activity, increased joy, depth of peace, bliss, and lot of parasympathetic outflow, where you are connected to higher consciousness, and therefore you become automatically blissful. And then the most important thing, which I would love to take one of the other days in coming months, if Professor Vyas suggests, is meditation. Friends, meditation is the greatest discovery or invention of humankind, and that I really appreciate these Indian spiritual people who have gone to depth of it. It doesn't mean that the foreigners also have not worked. Even Lord Jesus, Ashok Jesus, they were all meditating. But Indian spiritual sciences are full of meditation and related texts. I recollect Rumi's quote, please do me a little favor, search your own self within yourself. Please do me a little favor, search your own self within yourself. छोटा सा एक काम कर बिड़ू छोटा सा एक काम कर तेरी खुद के अंदर तू तेरी तपास कर दैट इज मेडिटेशन So I told you a few minutes back that the happiness is inside us, and the cause of miseries is our thoughts, desire, attachment, ego, attitude, rag, dvesh, and avidya. Who is going to tell you unless you look inside and try to meditate and look inside your own self where I am wrong? Is what are my thoughts? These are the thought levels. I should change them. What are my desires? This is all wrong. I am full of ego. My God, I'm wrong. My desires are wrong. I am deceiving people. My attitude is wrong. I should be nice to that fellow. No, I should have love, compassion, forgiveness. So that is meditation. सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन से शुरू करके परमात्मा के साथ जुड़ जाना वो पूरा मेडिटेशन का प्रोसेस है इट्स सम एक्सरसाइज ऑफ माइंड टू कीप इट हेल्दी एंड क्लीन एज वी डू फॉर बॉडी शरीर को जैसे दांत साफ करते हैं नहलाते हो कपड़े पहनाते हो अत्तर लगाते हो ना वो मेडिटेशन में यही है माइंड को करते हो इट्स अ स्टेट ऑफ ऑर्डर्स कॉन्शियसनेस फोर स्टेट वी कॉल इट वी हैव स्टडीड एक्सटेंसिवली मेडिटेशन इन SPECT and FMRI. It's a spiritual ecstasy with neurological manifestation. It's not really hallucination. Many people used to tell before 95 that India का योग और ध्यान वगैरह सारा बकवास है वो खाली hallucination है. But because of some fundamental study which I'll show you, it was all proved that meditation is a wonderful activity, neurobiological process. Now this is the Qigong method of meditation. Right from balancing physical body to mental body, they enter into meditation. Qigong. So there are several meditation techniques. We can focus on breathing, focus on object, focus on a sound, focus on a thought, focus on a sensual object, और जैसे सेंसरी परसेप्शन विपश्यना प्रेक्षा इमेजरी करते हैं सॉल मेडिटेशन सारी टेक्निक है उससे 120 पद्धतियां टेक्निक में से 120 मेथड डेवलप हुई है ये है सूफी मेडिटेशन A Sufi Darwish, if you have gone to Turkey and seen this Sufi dance, during depth of their bhakti and involvement in dancing with tuning with the higher consciousness, the Darwish becomes so much engrossed that they enter into the meditative state, and that is Sufi meditation. There are so many other meditation techniques, Patanjal Dhyan, Anapanasati, Smriti Upasthana, Vipassana Dhyan, Preksha Dhyan, Jain Dhyan, so many others, which I am not going to talk today because we are coming to the end of this presentation in 2-3 minutes. But I want to show you two important slides. And that is the profound effect of meditation in brain. As I mentioned, meditation is not hallucination. It is a neurobiological event. We are able to map it, reproduce it, and study it. And this is the baseline scan before meditation. You can see this is the prefrontal area, which I mentioned. If you in the starting, why we are an evolved species on the earth, why we are ruling the whole earth or planet. We think we are ruling because we have that higher brain, intelligence, judgment, memory, executive capacities, prioritization, thoughts and communication, etc. And during meditation, after 30 minutes of activity, you can see there is increased signal. What is red is blood flow. So there is 30% increase in cerebral blood flow and metabolism in the prefrontal area with the meditative sessions. So imagine of those people who are doing meditation on regular basis for months and years. What will be the stage of their brain? They will be very evolved. Pragyavan जो कहते हैं ना, highly sharp, intelligent, and they can see the future. They can read your thoughts. This kind of legacies they develop just during depth of meditation, continuously practicing, and they are able to take care of their psychosomatic aspects. So their diseases, psychosomatic diseases, are gradually removed. The second important denominator of connotation of meditation is this is the parietal area of the brain before meditation, and this is the other part after meditation. The left side brain parietal area, posterior superior parietal lobule they call it. You can see the blood flow before meditation and during meditation. During meditation, actually there is shut off. The blood supply goes off and you come offline. Now this is a reverse of the previous. The previous one shows increased blood flow, and so you will become more intelligent and pragyavan, and you're full of higher intelligence and memory. Here, this is the area of your activity of mind to some extent. So your thoughts, desires, ego, attitude, perception, everything is represented through this, because it is a area of orientation to time, place, and person. And during meditation, believe me, my friends, it goes offline. So your all bad thoughts, desires, ego, attitude goes away. You become a very balanced person, highly evolved person, both ways, intellectually and for the negative events they go on. And we are also seen the third activity, the limbic system, which I showed in prayer scan. Your parasympathetic outcome increases. So your pulse becomes slow, blood pressure becomes slow, your respiration becomes slow. Have you seen a yogi? Their pulses are around 60 or less, their blood pressure on the lower side, their respiration is only 8 or 6 per minute. We take 12 to 16 breaths per minute. They take 6 to 8 per minute. They live longer because their telometric length is increased and because of the parasympathetic outflow. So this is the abstract perceived joy which we have studied in symbolic representative self during meditation. So friends, my closing remarks that meditation improves your psychology, attitude and personality. It improves sociability, tolerance and compassion. It improves self-image, and you become less catastrophic even in stressful situations. And friends, it improves your attitude. Remember I said 50% of our happiness depends on relationship, attitude, morality, and spirituality. Meditation improves the attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than past, the education successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearances, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home, etc. द रिमार्केबल थिंग, हमारे पास एक चीज है हमारे हाथ में, कुछ चीजें हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं, बट वी कैन चेंज वन थिंग. हम ना पास्ट या फ्यूचर चेंज नहीं कर सकते, पर हमारे पास एक चीज तो है, चॉइस, हाउ वी रिएक्ट टू ए सिचुएशन, व्हाट इज आवर एटीट्यूड फॉर दैट डे. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. ये सारी चीजों कहाँ हम चेंज कर सकते हैं? The only thing we can do is to play on the only string that we have, and that is our attitude. Attitude for this moment, this day, and the life. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. So friends, I remind that there is a problem. I don't say no. Lord Buddha also said, and that there is a cause. We have now seen the cause. Cause is not outside. Cause is the activities of our mind, thoughts, ego, desire, perceptions, uh, ego and attitude. That is that there is a way. इसको निकालने का रास्ता है. And if you follow the path, you will get the solution. Pain is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So, friends, we have seen the roadmap: 5 activities of health, 5 relationships to care for, 5 hobbies we saw, 5 medical interventions, 5 philosophical laws, 5 virtues. Inside of 5, everything we have seen: 5 mental processes, that is attachment, ego, वगैरह. एट वर्च्यूज में हमने देखे appreciation, gratitude, forgiveness, compassion and acceptance, and 5 mental process देखे जिसमें attachment, ego वगैरह आया, और 5 spiritual practices आए. So this is the formula of happiness, roadmap of happiness, which all I've said is in one slide. I'm sure you can take a photograph of that. It is all the repetition of what I said. Control your attachment, control your anger, ego, avoid greed, jealousy, do prayers, do chanting, meditate daily. Stop comparing, stop expecting, stop criticizing, start sharing, start helping, start loving, give, forgive, learn some creativity, appreciate people, thank them, read great books, do sport activity, be with nature, enjoy. And the I said in the beginning, I'll give you one clue how. Suppose we have 40 hours a day, everybody 24 hours we have, every each of us are gifted with 24 hours a day. We can make three parts. 8 hours maybe for work, 7 hours for sleep, 7 to 8 hours, and rest 8 to 9 hours for 3HFS. 3H is health. You can do some exercise, yoga, etc. I've explained to take care of your health. Hygiene, 1 hour for getting ready, grooming, etc. 1 hour for hobby. If you are too busy a person, then your hobbies you can do on Saturdays, Sundays more. 3 hours or 3F for family, 1 hour for family, 1 hour for friends, 1 hour for faith. You can make up during weekends if you're not been able to do during weekdays, and 3 hours every day. We have 1 hour for service to nation, society, human or even animals. 1 hour for the soul, that is meditation. 1 hour hustle, laugh. So happiness is inside you, friends, and this is the address of happiness. Pin code is 00000. It is inside you. Address is, you have to get down at the religion station, take a rickshaw, go to Morality area, check the Charity Chalk, enter to the Peace Society, get down from the rickshaw, enter the Philosophy Lane, go to the Spiritual Mansion, and in the seat in the meditation hall. Friends, that is where your happiness resides. So I started with the first slide. Do you want to be happy? And then I said, then be. Who prevents you to be? But the real answer is, if you want to be happy, then just be yourself. Stay in this moment. Enjoy inner experiences. Do meditation, prayer, swadhyay, reading. Do some finance stuff and help people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope. Hello.
Really enjoyed. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Not
Thank you.
excellent.
Thank you, sir. Should I stop?
Yes, sir. Respected Dr. Sudhir Vyas, sir, we are indeed enlightened by your expert discourse. You have shown the path to happiness through science, morality, and spirituality. Kindly accept our gratitude for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you.
Now we have come to the end of the webinar. For vote of thanks, we have with us Professor Dr. S.O. Junare, sir.
Respected Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir V. Shah sahib, renowned neurologist, professor and HOD of neurology. Actually, with the permission of our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, we decided to start this special webinar series on various topics. We have organized more than 50 or 60 webinars, but I think so this was the best and only webinar actually which has taught us the life, happiness, and the way of life living. As sir told, that actually first we have to know ourselves. That is KYC norms is in actually is in place in everywhere. So know your customer. It is said by banks and financial institutions. But sir told that is know yourself, KYS. So for being happy, remaining happy, and knowing ourselves, our weaknesses, our strength, our possibilities and potentials, we have to know ourselves. And sir has given a lot of tips and suggestions which are actually science based. We actually are thinking that the spirituality is one different way of life than the science. But sir has told actually with lot of examples, and he is basically scientist and doctor. Sir told actually a lot of things to us how we can become happy and to make others happy. So if we live like this, so we will be the best person to serve our family, our nation, and our entire society. So his sir told that actually happiness is the inner state of mind, and it is the first to forgive this.
Hello? No. It's not there. On. Hello? Audible? Hello. So, uh, with this actually webinar, so not only our faculty members or our students, but more than 1,000 viewers and participants, those who have joined on Facebook and YouTube live. So they have given lot of their feedbacks and their appreciations for this special webinar, sir. We have attended lots of actually webinars, but this was the special kinds of webinar which was actually different than our academic part. But this was most important to know ourselves, to know how to be happy and to make happy others. So thank you very much, sir, for your actually very, very, very actually scientific and spiritual and moral actually guidance to all of us, uh, which will actually boost our moral, and actually it will give some insight to all of us to know ourselves and actually work on various areas which you have suggested. That is actually you have given various tips that we will see, and we will try to do this, particularly meditation. You told that this is very important. This is actually nothing but science of self introspection. So we can make our self introspection, we can know our negative side, we can know our positive sides, and it is actually, you told this is science based, it is actually neurobiological events which increase blood pressures and reduces a lot of actually bad things, particularly actually increase our intelligence and sharpness if we do regularly this meditation. So thank you very much, sir. Actually, we are very much enlightened and happy to listen you, and everybody was very much actually
Thank you.
astonished to
Thank you
sir,
very
to hear you. So thank you very much for giving your time, sir, and actually giving this wonderful lectures in our special webinar organized by our university. That webinar is the pursuit of happiness, science,
Science, morality,
and
and
spirituality.
spirituality.
Actually,
Actually,
you
you
have
have connected all these things.
so
So
I
I
thank
thanks
all
all
the
the
viewers,
viewers,
all
all
the
the
faculty
faculty
members,
members,
and
and
particularly
particularly
our
our
honorable
honorable
Vice
Vice
Chancellor,
Chancellor,
sir.
sir.
Actually,
Actually,
we
we
have actually
actually
told
told me yesterday, actually,
anyhow
anyhow,
we
we
have
have
to
to
go
go
and
and
attend
attend
this
this
special
special
webinar,
webinar,
actually
actually
to be delivered
delivered
by
by
Dr.
Dr.
Sudhir,
Sudhir Shah,
and
and
our
our
honorable
honorable
Dr.
Dr.
Pranav
Actually,
actually always
always
to
to
organize
organize
such
such
type
type
of
of
special
special
webinar.
webinar.
I
I,
actually
on
on behalf
behalf
of
of
university,
university,
I
I
thank
thank
Dr.
Dr.
Pranav
Pranavji
also, and
and
all
all
my
my
teachers,
teachers,
Dr.
Dr. Vyas,
Rehan
Rehan
Patel,
Patel,
Ramya,
Ramya,
and
and
all
all
faculty
faculty
members
for
for
actually
actually arranging
arranging
this
this
very
very
good
good
webinar
webinar
on
on
this
this
special
special
topic
topic
of
of
actually
actually
science,
science,
morality,
morality,
and
and
spirituality.
spirituality.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I
I
thank
thanks
all
all
of
of
you,
you,
and
and
particularly
particularly
my
my
vice
Vice
chancellor,
Chancellor,
sir,
sir,
for
for
giving
giving
this
this
opportunity to
opportunity to
all
all
of
of
us.
us.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.